Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to another anti-haul, because at this point you're probably going to be getting this shiz every 2 weeks or more, because quite frankly, there is never not going to be products that I'm going to talk about. There's always something being released by some sort of brand that's got me feeling some sort of way. And we have plenty of those on this particular list today. We also have some things that offend me a lot less. As I say in each and every single one of these, I am low buying this year, and I am trying my hardest to honestly spend as little as I possibly can on unnecessary makeup purchases, and all unnecessary purchases in my life, to be honest. But for the sake of this channel, we're going to be talking about makeup that I'm not going to buy for one reason or another. With that being said, I understand this is disgustingly subjective. This is my opinions, my thoughts. If I talk about a brand or a product that you absolutely love, that is your end-all be-all favorite holy grail, or you are planning on buying, that is fan-tucking-fastic. You keep doing you, boo-boo. I am simply here to talk about my thoughts and the things I'm not gonna buy. I'm not your mother. I'm more like a drunken alcoholic aunt who would say, yes, treat yourself, you do you. Spend your money how would like to. So let's just go on in and talk about these things. I have fair amount of products. Y'all know at this point, if I don't talk about it now, I'll talk about it later. I've gotten over trying to make these relevant. I always seem to forget that word. At this point, I'm just like, I don't care if it's late. I don't care if it's been out for 2 months, 2 years. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm a sassy rhetoric, whatever person anyway. So let's just get into it. Alright, let's see here. Should we start out with things that like annoy me, or should we start out with things that don't annoy me? Let's start out strong. Let's start out with one that, okay, Anastasia Beverly Hills, who has been a brand that's kind of struggle bussing lately on like their releases. I feel like back a couple years ago, we're like, all right, ABH, you need to calm down. You need to stop releasing. There's the 1 year where they released like 9-10 palettes in 1 year, and we were like, you need to slow your roll. And they took our advice, they slowed their roll, but in slowing their roll, they've also started giving us products that aren't that interesting. You know, we asked for less in the sense of less stuff being released, not less in the sense of what you're releasing is kind of lame. But they decided, amidst all the cosmetics and all the things they've released in the past, that they were gonna then decide to release makeup remover wipes, which is something that I'm trying very hard to stop using, because environmentally they're absolutely horrible. I've been on the lookout for a good makeup balm makeup remover that's not a makeup remover wipe, because I have burned through, I can't tell you how many of the Neutrogena makeup remover wipes. They sell them in like bulk at Costco. That's where I've been getting mine. And I've got the ones that I've got that I'm using up because I have them, and then I need to find something better. And so, like, when it comes to makeup remover wipes, at this point, I feel like we're aware of the environmental damage that they do. We're not dumb, we're not stupid. And so when you have a big brand that has the ability to make, you know, a more environmentally friendly choice, and then they decide to make high-end makeup remover wipes, it's just kind of like, why? We know they're bad, but even if, you know, you have the people who do use them, it's like, why am I going to spend high-end prices on a makeup remover wipe when the Neutrogena ones have been like #1 in the community for years? This was sort of the same thing that happened when Patrick Starr decided that he was going to, burp squad. And he decided he was going to give us makeup remover wipes as well. And kind of the consensus was, they're bad for the environment. I'm not going to spend that much money on makeup remover wipes when there are so many affordable ones. I really want to try the ones by Bliss, which is a skincare brand that I've recently become fairly attached to. But at the same time, I don't want to because, you know, I want to find a balm or a liquid makeup remover instead because, like I said, trying to decrease that footprint. And so I saw this and I was like, really, Anastasia? And they've got them in like chintzy looking hollow packaging. I'm like, it's a makeup remover wipe. It's a makeup remover wipe that they're gonna, you know, they're gonna charge $18, $20 or more dollars for. It's really just one of those things we don't need. You know, we don't need makeup remover wipes from a high-end brand, you know, unless they're the most, even if they're the most amazing things. Like, even if I were still buying makeup remover wipes, I burn through so many of those. I feel like there's not a lot of room for me to justify high-end price point for something so disposable. You know, I'm just not bougie enough to be out here buying high-end makeup remover wipes. If any of y'all have got it and you've tried them and they're the best formulated thing ever, they somehow have some kind of magical serum within them that makes removing your makeup the next level experience, definitely let us know down below. But I'm not spending Anastasia Beverly Hills prices on makeup remover wipes. I feel like it's just a little bit irresponsible. I mean, if they'd released some kind of, you know, makeup cleanser or some kind of makeup balm, I'd have been like, that's cool. That's nice. I might try that. I'm looking for a makeup cleanser remover balm thing. But what I'm not looking for is high-end priced makeup remover wipes. That's just not happening. All right, and while we're on sort of that kind of whatever, let's talk about another product that just makes me it hurts me inside. This is the KKW Beauty, those eyeshadow duos, which honestly look like big old bronzer contour duos. These are apparently two eyeshadow colors for like, it's like a crease shade and a defining shade, and it's just two. I failed to see the need for this sort of thing. I mean, if you have a neutral eyeshadow palette, you've got a crease shade and a defining shade, this is probably going to be like $20 for two shades. It just seems to me a little bit ridiculous, a little bit dumb. I mean, of all the things you could be releasing, we're out here releasing two boring basic shades for way more money than we should. I understand that KKW Beauty is all about that like sleek, chic, minimalistic bronzy look, but I mean, there's minimalistic and then there's like the bare minimum. So we've got the two extremes. We've got like the NYX Tetris palette on one side, and then we got KKW Beauty on this side over here releasing duos, releasing overpriced boring duos. And I understand, you know, their thing is like, well, these are going to be the only two shades you're going to need for makeup on the go. I'm like, I'm all about simplifying things. You know, I love small, curated, well thought out, just straightforward palettes. I do. That's my thing. I love it. But I'm not about having it's just like, why are we doing this sort of thing? It's a duo. And it's a duo that's filling a gap and a need that wasn't really there. It's kind of like pulling a benefit where it's like, you always needed to have just a compact little two-shade thing that you could take wherever. No, we didn't. No, that's not something we needed. And I'm sure people are going to be all like, well, you can do your eyes with it, and you can do your bronzer and your contour and your blush, and it's going to be this amazing multifaceted product. I mean, I could just take a bronzer or a contour or a duo, or just take a contour, bronzer, whatever freaking palette and do my eyes with that. Boom! That makes the product from KKW Beauty obsolete. I mean, I feel like at this point, KKW Beauty is just the expensive version of ColourPop. We're releasing boring, overpriced things, and we're selling it for a premium because it's got Kim Kardashian's name on it. I've said it I don't know how many times before. There's been absolutely nothing that she has ever released that has done anything for me. I just look at everything she's released and I'm like, I could dupe that out with ColourPop. I could dupe that out with just about any brand that's more affordable. And when you get to the point where you're releasing revolutionary eye contour duos, I mean, give me like a whole thing, you know, don't just give me 2 shades where it's going to be like a sweepy and a whatever. Like, is that really what we're asking for at this point on the market? Let me know if this was something y'all asked for, if y'all bought it and it was amazing. Like I said, this is just me doing my whatever's out here for my needs. And what I don't need is an overpriced eyeshadow duo. I mean, it's just, I mean, the epitome of bare minimum. We can't even come up with an eyeshadow palette. We've got to just sell duos, and you know, it's like, well, here's the light, here's the medium, and here's the brown. And I'm like, okay, you're trying to give yourself points and pats on the back for inclusivity when, and honestly, in reality and in the past of your makeup releases, you haven't had a lot of, it's been awfully pale person friendly. I don't see a lot of deep complected products here. And I feel for someone in her position and in her area, that's kind of a little bit of a problem. And it's just something I don't need. It's something that I don't think is needed within the community. It's just, oh, it's just too overpriced eyeshadows. That's about what it is. It's not interesting. It's not innovative. It's just like, hey, let's put 2 kind of brownie neutrally eyeshadows together and call it this revolutionary take with you ever all you need to just crease your eye and define the whatever. I mean, for people who already do that kind of look on a day-to-day basis, pretty sure they've already got products that they use to do it. I could be wrong. Maybe this is the next big thing and we're all just going to be walking around with 2 eyeshadows in our purses all the time because KKW Beauty said that it was the next thing. Some people maybe do it, but I'm not going to be buying it. Also, not going to be buying the Morphe x Lisa Frank round 2, which is just 3 different lip crayons, 2 different sets, and 2 different really eye-catching Lisa Frank boxes. At this point, I don't think it's about the products. It wasn't about the products on the first launch because it was just the 35B in different Lisa Frank coverings. They weren't even different eyeshadow palettes. It was like, let's take this eyeshadow palette that we supposedly discontinued when we released the Morphe James Charles palette, but apparently either we didn't discontinue it or we had a lot of units in the back that we need to get rid of. So they said, hey, let's put them in 3 different collectible limited edition Lisa Frank art binders so that the collectors are going to have to buy it 3 times so that they can have the 3 different art styles, even though we put the exact same palette in every single one. Creative, Morphe. Really, really creative. And same goes for this. It's just 2 sets of 3 different lip trios. It's just, I've gotten to the point where I feel like a majority of these licensed releases are just, let's put these random things into correlating packaging that's going to make people see it and go, Lisa Frank, I'm going to buy that, rather than actually marketing it on the merit of its makeup. We just slap that cute little licensing thing on it and we send it out. That's all that matters. So for me, it's just kind of like this big icky no. It's just this kind of just, okay, well, we're just procking on a collection that we already had that already sold out. It's just the same thing over and over and over again. Now, speaking of the same thing over and over again, it's actually kind of funny that ColourPop isn't in this particular. Let's take a moment. Think this is a first for me, you know, ColourPop isn't on this list. But let's just say that the Fenty Beauty clip-on gloss is. I'm like, we're taking this thing that's already nice and portable and easy to use, and we're making it more portable and more easy to use. I don't know about y'all, but when it comes to me doing like my gloss and my chapstick and stuff like that, typically I'm not using my fingers. That never seems like the easy way to go about it. I mean, this is like benefit levels of gimmicky, and I honestly expected more from Fenty Beauty than being like, here's this totally random, just one shade, limited edition clip that you can clip on your purse or put in your purse and put in your pocket. And I'm like, you want to know what else you can put in your purse and put in your pocket? A regular lip gloss, of which you have many, of which people really like the formula of. So why don't we just stick to that instead of making these stupid throwback lip gloss clip-on things? I appreciate a good throwback as well as anyone out. That Lizzie McGuire ColourPop thing with the squeezy whatever, I was like, I kind of want that. But then you take a high-end brand and it makes this gimmicky, kitschy little clip-on gloss thing. I mean, I remember when it happened and people on Twitter were just all like, is this their April Fool's joke? Is this a joke? It wasn't a joke, folks, and it is available for purchase as of speaking right now. I mean, I'm not a lip gloss person to begin with, but when you look at this sort of thing and it's just like, okay, all right, there's so many different things we could potentially release that would expand and add to the products that we already have. But instead of doing that, we're gonna make this little gimmicky clip-on thing because that's what the people asked for. I must admit, when it comes to high-end, I'm not buying a little plastic clippy high-end price little lip gloss that I'm gonna have to use my finger for. At least with the majority of chapstick, you don't have to deal with the color and the mess and all the whatever. But with this, you get to deal with all of that. And you get to deal with all of that for Fenty Beauty prices. I'm like, if it had been an April Fool's joke, I feel like all of us would have believed it. You know, I think that the majority of the consumers that I at least, pal around with on Twitter and everywhere just kind of looked at this and were like, really? That's what we're doing now? Okay. Because it's a freaking clip-on lip gloss, It's just, why are we doing this? And why are high-end companies doing this? It's just, we've reached a point where I can't even understand and comprehend the language of the makeup releases that are happening. We've reached the point where I have no idea what's going on anymore. It is just chaos. Then we have the Be Perfect Manifest Dream Big palette / collection, which I put down as the Live, Laugh, Love palette because it's just like manifest, dream big, because quite frankly, they're trying to make up for this sad color story, this mishmash whatever, with some kind of fancy inspirational name to make people ignore the fact that it's kind of a travesty to look at. Y'all know that I am someone who really appreciates the small, the curated, the simple. We've addressed it 1,000 times. And quite frankly, we'll continue to address it until I die or until the companies decide to stop making really big, not thought out palettes like this. And they've also got the stupid thing where they take the shimmers and they're like, ew, they're shimmers mixed together. So they make a special custom color. And when they do things like that and the eyeshadow pans are this big, there's not enough eyeshadow for you to be like, I'm just gonna get this color or I'm just gonna get this color. What's the point in swirling them together? Why don't you just make that color on its own, in its own why do we have to make it this fancy little swirly thing? Huda Beauty's been doing that in every single eyeshadow palette she's released since the Naughty Nice one. They did one swirly, switchy, changey color, and then they're doing it with everything. I'm like, just give me a shimmer shade, okay? I don't need it to be multi-use purposeful. Just give me a shimmer. Just give me a shimmer. I'm not about trying to deal with that. But back to the Be Perfect, the Live, Laugh, Love palette. Which, quite frankly, if someone released the Live, Laugh, Love palette, that could be kind of funny. But this isn't so much as funny as it is a little bit more tragic. I look at it and it's like the Tetris one, the next Tetris one all over again. There was that other big one that had like 100 eyeshadows in it. I'm like, I am so tired of eyeshadow palette vomit. You know this. It's just a whole bunch of eyeshadows regurgitated in a mishmash sort of way. They're going to give it some kind of fanciful name to justify how crazy and disoriented it is. And they're going to play it off as being the manifest dream big. I mean, what kind of MLM having name is this sort of eyeshadow palette going? This is what we're doing with our lives. These are the choices we're making. I mean, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do, but this was a choice. Maybe for some people, it's the best choice that was ever made, and they're so excited, and this is the best looking palette that they've ever seen. But for me, I look at this and it doesn't look like a good choice. It looks like a mistake. It looks like a drug-induced poor decision to just say, let's put all this together. Let's make these dumb shimmers with the too little, and I understand it adds intrigue. It makes it look more interesting. That's great. That's great. I'm so happy for them that they've got intrigue and interest in their palette because they've got duo colored swirly shimmers. For me and how I like to do my makeup, I like it to be straightforward. I'm like, boom, give me mattes. Give me shimmers. I don't want it to be gradiated. I don't want it to be swirly whirly. I just want it to do what it's supposed to do. So for many reasons, this thing I just saw it and I was like, okay, all right, I guess that's what we're doing now. I mean, I feel like that's the majority of everything. When I scroll through trend mode, I'm like, that's what we're doing now. Oh, that's what we're doing. Oh, why are we making these decisions? Like, I've said it once, where are these companies' parents? Where are the people watching out for them to be like, instead of being like, yes, this is the best idea, be like, did you really think this through before you decided to send it out? I mean, the reality of the fact of the matter is that they probably didn't. And I'm not gonna buy it because I don't like how it looks. I mean, some things that are a little bit less offensive, the BH Cosmetics 80s, 90s, and 2000s palettes, those actually look kind of cute. I'm a little iffy with BH Cosmetics after the whole Halloween / holiday release they did. That was pretty problematic. I've talked about it multiple times on my channel. I have a lot of products by them that I really love, but I'm like, I'm not sure I need these. I mean, I don't need, that's the thing. The reoccurring theme in these is I don't really need. The secret is that I don't really need any new makeup. So that being said, this really, I look at them and they're cute. Let me know if they're good, because I know BH Cosmetics can have sometimes really good formulas. Those Sweet Shop palettes that they did, absolutely love those. These are nice, interesting color stories. It's sort of kind of in the same vein of stuff they've released before, but it's got a nice theme to it, and I think they look nice. They look like something that, yeah, had I had a little bit more extra money and if I didn't have my eyes on some other eyeshadow palettes that I want to get to review, this might be something that would potentially draw me in with the nostalgia and the color theories. At least it's not a total case of eyeshadow vomit. You know, I can appreciate that, but appreciating it doesn't mean I'm gonna buy it. Then we've always got to talk about some kind of licensed something that's got me all bothered. And it's not that it's the fact of the collection that makes me bothered. It's just the fact that I've seen this last year and this year has been like just peak saturation of all of these licensed things. There's just like licensed and intellectual property releases just raining down from every side on us, from ColourPop, from other brands, from high-end brands, from affordable brands. And so we have we've got the Wet n Wild Spongebob collection, because I admit I did two things when I saw this collection. Half of me rolled my eyes out of my head. The other half of me had an internal moment of, I actually kind of want that. And then I went to Walmart with my mother and I beheld the collection with my own two eyes. I had a moment where I was like, I could get some of this. I could get some of this. They had the SpongeBob highlighter, which in all honesty, I would have gotten just to be like, look, it's a SpongeBob highlighter, when in reality, it's a really intense yellow gold, which is not suited for my particular skin tone. I have Fenty Trophy Wife. I'm good. I don't need a Wet n Wild SpongeBob gold highlighter to just sit in my collection and be like, I have it, because it's a SpongeBob highlighter. Back in the day, I would have jumped on this shiz like nobody's business. And not only that, I would have jumped on this shiz and I would have had it because they've got, it's really cute. I will admit, it's really cute. They got sponges, they got a Squidward sponge, they got a SpongeBob sponge, they've got a Patrick sponge, and I'm like, I want those. And I would have bought them, and I would have had them set up somewhere and been like, I can't use my SpongeBob sponges. They're sacred, they're adorable, they're cute, you know, mustn't taint them with foundation. Whereas now we're just cutting out the middleman and be like, I'm not buying SpongeBob sponges because I already have so many sponges on backup. I don't need these. But there was definitely that moment of just like, I could have something, a little bit of something. I was sorely, very, very tempted at Walmart, but I did. I made the decision and I said, Mom, I was going to anti-haul it. I might have bought some of it. I'm just going to keep anti-hauling it and have it on my list, and I'm not going to buy it. It's cute. It is cute, but I don't need to buy these things that I don't need just because they're cute. Y'all know, for any of y'all who've been with me for an extended period of time, it has taken me years to break myself of the habit of buying makeup I don't need with money I don't have because it's cute. I don't have any, it's just cute makeup money lying around. It's just not happening, but it is really cute. I can look at it and be like, okay, that was kind of well done. But like I said, I'm not going to buy it, even though, because it's affordable. And I was like, if I could buy this. But affordable even adds up. You know, you got 5, 10, 15, 20, you know, 5 things, $25. I just don't got it. It's not happening. Like I said, I've got some other things I've got my eyes on that I want to buy and I want to review, and that's not one of them. And then sort of in that same vein is another company that I feel they're getting a bit more notice. They're getting a bit more publicity on the Trend Mood page, and that is Hipdot, who have done things such as the SpongeBob SquarePants collaboration. They've done the My Chemical Romance, and now they're doing Hello Kitty. If any of y'all didn't know then, you know now. I love Hello Kitty. I absolutely adore it. It took everything within me to anti-haul the ColourPop Hello Kitty collection. And now we're here with Hipdot, and I'm anti-hauling this collection. Simply because all of these, both the ColourPop release and this one, looking at like the eyeshadow palette, I'm like, that's just, it's not something that I think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of. I'm not familiar with Hipdot's formula. If any of y'all have tried it and it's amazing, let us know down below. But for me and the lack of knowledge that I have, I just don't have it in me to be like, yes, I know nothing about this company's quality, never tried their stuff before, so I'm gonna go in on this Hello Kitty collection. I would be much more inclined to buy it for like my 6-year-old niece who absolutely loves Hello Kitty right now than I would be for myself. I've sort of, like I said, taken time, years to get over the whole, well, it's something that I like, it's a collaboration, you know, I love Hello Kitty. You know, I would rather at this point be like, okay, I could spend money on that Hello Kitty makeup that I may or may not like, or I could take that money, which I currently don't have anyway, and use it to buy like a Hello Kitty pop or a Hello Kitty something, because as I've said before, when it comes to these releases, a lot of times it's less about the makeup and more about the collectability of the collaboration, and I'm not supporting. I'm not putting my money and telling them, yes, this is okay. Do this. I support this by throwing money at you. Do more of this. Because y'all know I'm absolutely not into the whole idea of selling makeup marketed on the collectability of it rather than just the makeupness of it. If you're able to take it and combine really good quality with the collectability of it, sure, maybe I'd give people a pass. But in the past, been kind of proven, kind of been like a pattern of when it comes to these things that are like, oh, it's Hello Kitty, it's collectible, or oh, it's Sailor Moon, it's collectible, or oh, it's thus and such, it's collectible. Like I said, we focus more on the collectability than the actual product in and of itself, the quality of it standing on its own, aside from it being a cutely packaged Hello Kitty themed little Ziploc bag collection. It's just not something I need or want in my life. Like, it wasn't even oh, I could buy it because it's Hello Kitty. It's like, all right, whatever, it's a Hello Kitty release. You know, there are so many of these kinds of releases being done now. I've said this out and how many times, I'm gonna keep saying it, but there really just isn't any, you know, it's not exciting anymore. It's not interesting anymore because they're all releasing these things. They're all releasing the licensing and the collaborations and stuff like that. When you have, it's kind of like a less is more that they've lost, you know? Having less releases, having more space between them makes it more exciting than when you're releasing a licensed thing every other week. It's just like, I don't care anymore. I see it and I'm like, okay, all right, I saw it last week. I'm going to see it next week. I'm going to see it until I die. And I'm just at the point where I'm like not interested in investing my time, my money. When it comes to these things, they sell out. They're crazy. They're frenzied. I'm just old. I am so, like, I love it when people are like, you're not that old. I'm like, I understand. Compared to how I was with makeup to how I am now, I'm old. I don't have time for this shiz. I don't want to deal with no hyped up release and going on. And if I don't get it in 2 seconds, I don't have it. You know, I just do not have it in me to deal with that anymore. So with that being said, I'm not going to be buying the Hello Kitty X Hipdot collection. All right, I actually think I've talked about the majority of what I wanted to talk about, so we can end it on this point here. I feel like I was a little bit scattered in this one. I'm not sure. I've been kind of having, for any of you who've been with me on the Snapchat and to Twitters, especially Snapchat and Twitter. For those of you who've been with me, you know, through that, you know, I've been kind of going through I don't want to say identity crisis or midlife crisis because I'm only 30, but I have been kind of going through yeah, you know, YouTube is kind of, you know, we're going to be dealing with it and talking about it, but I have been filming a lot less and kind of feeling a little detached from the process, as it were. So I'm really hoping that's not affecting the content that I'm putting out right now, but I guess we'll have to see when I put this up in editing, because that's when I'm really able to be like, you know, oh, okay, all right, that went okay. So we'll just have to see. If it did go okay, I hope you all enjoyed it. I would love to hear your all's thoughts on these products that I talked about down below. You love them, you hate them, you bought them, you're gonna buy them, you know. We all have different things that we want in makeup. I am not here to police anyone's choices. I'm just talking about my own opinions on things that I'm not gonna personally buy. Because quite frankly, I am not one to talk. Anytime I talk about this is stupid, I'm like, but keep that in mind, I buy useless things. So it's like, take it with a grain of salt. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you. And as always, keep it real. Mwah!